Hi, my name is Andy Fletcher, and I've written a new book, The ABCs of America's Short Line and Regional Railroads. It discusses how America's short line and regional railroads deliver the first mile and last mile of service to bring us the freight we need every day. The ABCs of America's short line and regional railroads. This Arkansas and Missouri engine carries aluminum across Arkansas. This Aberdeen and Rockfish engine carries a load of grain at Aberdeen to make the bread that we eat. This Ashley Drew and Northern engine carries lumber at Crossett to build our schools. This Alaska Railroad engine takes us to see Denali on our journey from Anchorage to Fairbanks. This Austin and Western engine carries limestone at McNeil. This Arkansas Midland engine pulls a freight train at North Little Rock. This Alexander Railroad engine carries a load of lumber to build houses in Statesville. This Allegheny Valley engine carries a load of steel at Pittsburgh to make the car that we drive. This Belt Railway of Chicago engine connects the railroads of Chicago. This Buckingham Branch engine moves a load of clay at Staunton to make paper so we can read the newspaper. This Buffalo and Pittsburgh engine carries steel to build our schools. This Coos Bay Rail Link engine hauls lumber from western Oregon so we can build the houses where we live. This Canton engine moves its train at the Port of Baltimore. This Central California traction engine carries fresh vegetables to make a salad with your dinner. This Chesapeake and Albemarle engine carries a load of stone at Chesapeake. This Dakota, Minnesota and Eastern engine carries grain at Brookings. This D&I engine carries a load of cement at Rapid City. This Everett Railroad engine takes us on an exciting excursion at Roaring Spring. This Florida East Coast engine moves fast freight from the port of Miami. This Finger Lakes engine carries steel at Syracuse. This Farm Rail engine hauls the grain to make the bread we eat with our dinner. This Florida Central engine carries lumber to build the stores on Main Street. This Go Rail engine shows us how important trains are to us all. This GATX engine helps the railroads pull their trains when they need extra power. This Green Mountain engine hauls limestone at Rutland. This Huron and Eastern engine carries steel at Crosswell. This Housatonic engine carries a load of lumber to build houses at Hawleyville. This Heart of Georgia engine takes us on an excursion train at Cordell. This Indiana Railroad engine leads a fast freight at Indianapolis. This Iowa Interstate engine leads a double-stack train at Blue Island. This Iowa, Chicago, and Eastern engine carries grain at Rockford. This Indiana Harbor Belt engine connects the railroads that serve Chicago. This Juniata Valley engine leads its train at Lewistown. This Keokuk Junction engine moves a load of tractors at Keokuk. This Kankakee, Beaverville, and Southern engine carries grain at Kankakee. This Kansas City Terminal engine carries a transfer train across Kansas City. This Louisville and Indiana engine carries the steel to make the refrigerator that keeps your food fresh. This Livonia, Avon, and Lakeville engine carries grain at Gates. This Lycoming Valley engine carries coal at Muncie. This Louisiana and Northwest engine moves its train at Gibbsland. This Montana Rail Link engine moves a lumber train under the Big Sky at Missoula. This Mississippi Central engine carries paper at Oxford for our morning newspaper. This Morristown and Erie engine helps everyone have a Merry Christmas at the Whippany Railway Museum. This Meridian and Bigby engine carries paper at Meridian for the books we read every day. This New England Central engine carries lumber to build houses at Palmer. This North Shore engine carries coal at Northumberland. This Nittany and Bald Eagle engine carries stone at Lock Haven. This Napa Valley Wine Train engine takes us on an elegant excursion as we dine in the Napa Valley at St. Helena. This Ohio Central engine carries coal at Mount Vernon. This Oil Creek and Titusville engine takes us on an excursion that teaches the history of Oil County. This Ontario Northland engine carries lumber at Cochrane. This Ontario Southland engine carries parts for your car at St. Thomas. This Palmetto Railway's engine moves freight at the Port of South Carolina in Charleston. This Paducah and Louisville engine pays tribute to the men and women of our military. This Providence and Worcester engine moves fast freight at Providence. This Pan Am engine carries a train of travelers to Boston. This Quebec North Shore and Labrador engine transports iron to make steel. This Reading Blue Mountain and Northern engine transports coal at Port Clinton on the road of anthracite. This R.J. Corman engine moves a coal train at Clearfield. This Red River Valley and Western engine transports grain at Grand Rapids to make the bread that we eat. This SMS engine carries steel to build buildings in Morrisville. This Seminole Gulf engine takes us for an elegant dinner as we view the Gulf at Fort Myers. This Sandersville engine carries clay to make paper so we can read a book at school. The Sierra Northern engine takes us along the Sacramento River on the river train excursion. The Santa Maria Valley engine carries a load of fresh fruit to go in your lunch. The Susquehanna engine moves fast freight at Binghamton. These Southwestern Pennsylvania engines carry grain at Uniontown. The South Shore Line's engine carries steel at Portage. This Terminal Railroad of St. Louis engine connects the railroads that serve St. Louis. This Twin Cities and Western engine carries grain at Glencoe to make flour to help us bake pastries. This Tennessee Valley Railroad engine takes us on an excursion from Grand Junction Station in Chattanooga. This Tacoma Rail engine moves a train at the Port of Tacoma. This Union Railroad engine carries steel at Monroeville to build the buildings where we work. This Utah Railway engine carries coal at Martin. This Vermont Railway engine carries lumber at Burlington. This Winchester and Western engine carries rock from the quarry at Gore. This Wisconsin and Southern engine carries lumber at Janesville. This Western New York and Pennsylvania engine moves fuel at Farmers Valley. This Wheeling and Lake Erie engine carries coal at Brewster. The letter X on this Montana Rail Link engine stands for railroad crossings and reminds us to cross tracks safely. This Yadkin Valley engine builds its train at Rural Hall. This Youngstown and Austintown engine moves steel at Youngstown. This Zaki Farms engine carries grain at Zaki Farms. This book is dedicated to my father, who watched my first trains with me when I was a boy, and to Russell Tedder, who sent those trains on down the track.